if something would be wrong. Okay, let me bring up the chat. Yeah, okay, thanks, Happy Pawn. Excellent. So we're in the number 2, right? We're in the second installment of a small prize. A small prize, second part. Yeah, first time I think you had some difficulties until you figured out which was the motive involved. So let me see if I can actually, if I can bring up this here. Let me see if I can. Can I do that? Give me just one moment here, I think. All right. Okay, great, Greg. We have a few new students. Yeah, nice to see you. Greg Shahadi just joined here also. Oh, you let them in. Okay, sounds excellent. So let's do a very quick recap. If we go to Thursday, thanks to this great Chessable classroom interface, we can actually browse through these examples very quickly. So this was the game that we checked in the first place. If you remember, Vidit played f3 to open up the game. Black, Svidler in this case, played king f7 after rook h1, bishop e7. This was the key move that I was asking you for. So I'll just do a very quick recap just to make sure that we're all on the same page here. I'll ask you for the next 3 moves here, but you get only 25 seconds, all right? So let's see who remembers this. Aha, Titan and Jong and Racer, you got the right move. Aha, everybody remembers this. Great. You're fast learners, no? Excellent. Yeah, Tiger Saki also got it. Heuristic Mind, Brian, Vish, Zachpan, and so on. Yeah, a lot of people got this right. So did Vidit, who took home this game. So that's what we looked at last time. I can ask somebody here. Let's check with Sozin Queen. All right, Sozin, what was your... Yeah, tactical. I think you got it wrong. C5, exactly. We bring in the bishop. So that's the small price that we're talking about, right? We're giving up a pawn, but this means that our worst piece, the bishop, actually became the best piece. C5 to activate. The last square bishop says happy pawn. Aha, and yeah, they played something like that. And we brought in the bishop, and we had a very nice advantage. I think one idea was to do this, for instance. Another one was to put the bishop there. Okay, back to my courses. Let's see. The next example we looked at was this one. Here it was in a less favorable context, right? And we were not completely agreeing, everybody, I think here. White had played knight h4, and I was asking you for the best approach with the black pieces here. I'll just quiz you for the next 2 moves, and you get only 15 seconds this time. I didn't do this. All right, Jinxie, now you can learn with us. Yeah, if you play Queen G1, Queen G8 immediately, I might play something like, I guess, f4 or something like that, maybe. Yeah, most people like Xalicia, Chessort, Sozin Queen, Gordon, Brian, Tiger Saki, Zachpan, you played it in the other way. Okay, Zachpan, how was your variation here? How did you play? We tried to open up, exactly. We gave away a pawn, very similar to Svidler's, to Vidit's idea, right, with c5 last time. And once they take this pawn, we are ready to swing in the queen. Yeah, this one last. I'm doing a very, very fast recap from last time, just for us to understand this together. The queen came to h7. The computer will tell you that white is better here, but don't believe too much in computers. You're not usually playing against one. So as long as you understand the position human-wise, it's fine. This was played in the game Liu with white and Escalante with the black pieces. If you can see for yourself, the queen will be just terrific here. We talked about that last time. The French, we know there are some lines like that. If you play Queen G8 instantly, I mean, it's very well intended and so on, but I think there are some differences. Yeah, should I play F4? Oh, we have a new user. Razor Bill says F4. All right, I added a new user here. I don't even know who I added. Anyway, yeah, welcome whoever you are. Maybe knight e3 and bring the queen to f3. That would be one way to maybe fight against this plan, right? I don't know. I would think of something like that. It looks a little comical to have the queen on this side now and the pawn is hanging. So, yeah, I would go for what Escalante played in the game. I would play f4 first, and then I would quickly bring in the queen, like we were discussing. And if you play in the same way now, actually, I didn't think about this. Anyone, what do you think about that? Maybe we can play like that, and if they play 93, yeah, I think I know what we can play here. Yeah, anyone? Any idea? You're very fast with these tactics. Aha, Sozin Queen instantly. Queen d3. That's a very pretty move, right? Because we're stopping castling, and we even have some crazy ideas like knight takes and bishop takes and things like that, and they cannot take because we take. Oh, come on, wait a little here. They can play like that, right? They can play like this. Yeah, what is he saying? Aha. Yeah, this is not so clear. He's talking nonsense. So we have to fix this, right? We have to fix this. It was probably wrong. Aha, it was probably wrong. What a pity, no? It was such a nice idea. What if we take first? That's how a chess player thinks, right? We try to fix our variation by changing some small detail. And if they take, we play queen d3. Aha. Yeah, I cannot hear. If you're talking, Young Jal, I cannot hear you, unfortunately. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, maybe. Interesting variation. I don't know what's going on here. Maybe rook c1, as tactical says. And g5, maybe. At least we have a full-fledged battle here. What I was thinking of was also if they take like that, maybe white should play like this. Analyzing with computer quite a lot. I have what can I say? I have a soft spot for this kind of move. When you don't take back, like the non-recapture, you do something else. This looks crushing, actually. Bishop d8. Oh, I see. Maybe you can go back with the bishop. I don't know. When this knight leaves the building, they have d5 coming up. Interesting. Yeah, I don't know, actually. Queen d3 is coming also, so maybe you're right. Aha. Excellent. Excellent. Knight b6 and d5, said Santos. Wow, that would be amazing. If that really works, Santos, you would be a genius, right? Because right now you're down to two pieces. I think it's too much, says Santos. I'm sorry, but I'm pessimistic here. Maybe queen d3 and I can just kill your initiative or something like that. White can just castle here, says Tori. Maybe that's better. Yeah, maybe we should just castle instead and don't be so, what can I say, so dramatic. Or maybe go back with the knight also. Anyway, I think we can agree that the game gets complex, and I think he did the right thing here. After knight h4, he played this move f4, and he brought the queen quickly. But wow, that was really an interesting variation. Yeah, pawn takes, exactly. Somebody said this, no? Somebody explained this, that now we're touching the bishop, so they don't get f5. Aha. Alg said something here. Alg wanted to say something. What was your opinion here, Alg? We're waiting. Queen g8, knight e3. Maybe we can take first also. Is that possible? We could take first. And then play queen h7. But it's a pity to take this knight also, right? Because it's not a very well-placed knight. So I don't know, g5 maybe. Anyone likes g5? Raise your hand. Yeah, I'm just joking. But it looks interesting, no? Because now by accident, I'm actually defending the pawn. Exactly. We have g5 coming up, says Sozin Queen. Yeah, I like this for black. I think it's the best it gets here. So anyway, let's get going, right? Let's get going. We see some potential from black's position here. Key move, in my opinion, that we are ready to give up a pawn like that. We will never get it back probably, but we get activity. And that's what we ultimately need here. All right. We will continue. So I think we saw two examples. We can safely continue with the new examples today. So let me bring up something exactly happy pawn, f4 to liberate the Lascaux bishop on e6. That's a good way to put it. Let's see a game by one of the strongest female players in the world. She held her own very confidently in the last Tata Steel. Fantastic player, Zhu Wenjun with white pieces, playing here against Wen Jiang. Also strong player, almost 2600. So it's your move here, guys. I would like to know how you think that Zhu Wenjun managed to develop the initiative here, as they say. She found a very clever way of developing the initiative. I think I will ask you for 5 moves here. You get 1 minute, all right? It's very little time, I know, but this allows me to bring up more examples. So let's see. Yeah, you know the topic of today. Show my game, please, says Mr. Jamal. Show my game. Yeah, maybe I will show your game one day, but right now I have other games prepared. Okay, so Tactical and Brian and Alg and Racer, you're very close. I like your approach. I think that's a very good move. You're preparing to put the bishop on b2, I guess. So half a point definitely for this team. Alg, Brian, Tactical, Racer, Heuristic, Greg Shahadi, and Sozin Queen. Nobody plays like Zhu Wenjun. That's kind of mysterious now. Connor and Tori Chess are also in this team of players who played 3 consecutive pawn moves. 3 consecutive pawn moves. But we have a big group who got even closer. Connor, Tori, Sozin. No, this is another group. Sorry. Chessart, Pika, 0008, Chess Crusher, Gordon, Zakpan, HDI. Okay, many of you were on the right track here, definitely. And we might not even be sure exactly what was the perfect solution here. So, yeah, nobody played. Yeah, at least I played like Greg, says Al. Yeah, that's a big merit. So let's ask somebody. I will ask Chess Art. All right, Chess Art, tell us, how would you continue at this point? C5. Sometimes this move can be a crime, no? It can be a positional crime. I remember, on the other hand, there was a famous game. I can write it here to you in the chat. Kasparov versus Vallejo Pons. Kasparov against Paco Vallejo. He used this idea. It's a famous game in the Semislav. You can look up that game like 20 years ago. He used this in a very convincing way. But it was somewhat less, what can I say, tactical than here. So anyway, let's see. We're playing c5. This means that black cannot play c5. No, that's a move that black would love to play in this Semislav structure. So c5, we invest the pawn. After pawn takes, of course, we take back. For this to make any sense, they should take back. And what is move 4? Yeah, we will come to that. So here, this was the move played by Johan Hellsten and also by Chess Art. So basically, we are developing. We would like to bring the bishop to e5. Sorry, but then you will say, but hey, they can just play e5 here. They can just play e5. What did we gain from this? So here the complexities start. And you can look at bishop c4. Many of you said bishop c4, including Chess Art. I'm not sure about these variations. I think it was interesting also to play like that. But my first question, of course, would be if I can take. You remember we talked about this in the sessions about accept or decline. First thing to check is if we can actually accept. So I don't know. I'm happy to hear anyone's opinion here. But it doesn't look so convincing, no? You want to take with a knight instead? Oh, I see. Maybe that's smarter. Yeah, move like that. I would like to play knight d5 now. Can I do that or I get this destroyed? Yeah, I can't really see the tactics here. Maybe you're mating me in some way here. I would try this at least. You want to take with the rook maybe? Is that so? Take with knight? I don't understand. Yeah, take a knight on f7, exactly. Yeah, if you... No, this doesn't work, right? I think it doesn't work. If you take, I take back. I forgot that my bishop is also joining the defense, right? So I don't believe in this. Or what do you think? Anyone? It's okay for white or not so convincing, maybe? 95 seems to work. I think so too, Pop Fisher, yeah. No matter how they take here, we can later rely on this key move 95, it seems. Bishop takes f7. We have a new user, Dominic Gamer. All right, Dominic, very welcome. Yeah, black looks better here. If you do this, I'm very happy. Whoever said that. Zachpan, yeah, I'll take and, well, what would I play? Rook e8 maybe. This looks like a nice position for black. I have my 3 minor pieces. Well, this bishop is not so happy right now, but we will make him happy later. Yeah, I think white is, the bishop can come this way and so on. Okay, so let's come back to the game. So after e5, she played a very relaxed move, you could say. So the bad thing about e5, by the way, if you don't play e5, bishop e5 is coming. However, if I played queen b6, should we play bishop e5 or we should not? What do you think? Anyone? Bishop e5? No, says some of you. Exactly, Sozin. So please remember one thing here. I'll try to write in the chat, but you sent so many messages that you could probably not see it. But when attacking, don't forget to also look a little at your own king. No, you can find this message in the chat for 5 seconds. When attacking, don't forget to also look at your own king. If you play like bishop e5, you're obsessed by attacking black's king, and you forget about this simple tactical trick, right? You can see for yourself that black manages to trade queens and gets back to peace with a winning endgame or a better endgame. So don't do that, please. Now that we have sorted out that, what would you play then? This is a great idea, but we would have to prepare it, right? Anyone? Yeah, exactly, Mr. Chicky Dude. Thanks for copying. Okay, great. Yeah, you have to play something else. What would you play in that case? h3, for instance, stopping that plan. And I think also this was an interesting move. Bishop c4. Yeah, why was that so good, by the way? Bishop c4. Interesting. I don't remember. Maybe we should bring in the rook also. Yeah, the computer said this move, but sometimes to understand the computer, you have to look a little further, no? And not just accept the move. I think that's the point, to bring in the rook or something like that. Yeah, anyway. So back to business here, That was a possibility for black to play bishop f6, but in the game, the queen b6, but they played e5 in the game. And I was waiting. Yeah, you don't need to copy it anymore. Yeah, no spam. Yeah, we know how to read. So we have now read the message. Exactly, happy pawn. Congratulations, bishop e3. That's what we call dynamic exchanges, no? Dynamic exchanges. We trade pieces in a way that modifies the pawn structure, right? If you see what I mean, we play this move so that when they take, we take back, and you can see the benefit here. Yeah, we don't care about weak pawns and so on. What Juven Jun is about to do here, she's about to attack by all possible means, right? Bring in all the pieces to the attack. I think black is already beyond salvation here. Yeah, he played, or she played queen b6. That was bishop c4. Yeah, I don't know if Wen Jiang is that. I think it's a man. No, it's a male player, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I might be wrong. Bishop c4, in any case, that's what happened in the game. She just gave away the pawn on e3. Very nice attack. Yeah, male says Susan Queen, exactly. King g7. Anyone, should I quiz you on this? But it's extremely simple. You get only 5 seconds then. All right, 5 seconds. Think quickly, please. Aha, we don't need to take that pawn or play flashy moves. Aha, very simple move played by Alg and Skilled and Mr. Chicky and Pika, Brian and so on. Okay, Alg, what was your move? We don't need to spice it up now. That's a simple yet very strong move. You can see that now we're about to maybe take and bring in the other rook, like in Mikhail Tal style. We bring in all the pieces. We don't care about the pieces which leave. We care about the pieces which stay on the board. So that's what she played in the game, rook f1. He tried queen d4, knight e4. That's a very pretty tactic, right? I like that tactic. You can see for yourself. If queen takes, we can then take on f6. Yeah, that's what happened in the game. Oh, yeah. We will talk about that. We will come to that. Bishop takes f7, rook f8, rook a1. Yeah, Mikhail Tal, here he is. Let's bring in the rook. And I think around here, black resigned. Okay, black played like that. That's what you should do, right, when you're defending. Try to set some kind of pitfalls for your opponent. But of course, Juven Jun will never play something like that. No, that's inimaginable. That will never happen. She played rook g3 instead, so that the queen moves away, and then she wants to play that. And here she played king g1. Yeah, what a classy attacking game, right? Don't count the pawns. Look at the king instead. Aha, rook h3. And yeah, she went on to win. Yeah, we can probably stop here. Rook f3, yeah, bringing in all the pieces. I must say, Wen Jiang defends in a very heroic way, but it was just too much on this day. Juven Jun, she saw everything here. White's down a pawn. Yeah, exactly. But it was a well-invested pawn. So, okay, you had some questions here. Somebody wanted to play rook d7. Yeah, careful when you play these fancy moves. Sometimes the fancy moves, they don't work out too well. I don't know in this case. If I take, you take, I play king f6. Did I get mated? Yeah, I can't see this clearly. If you told me it's mate, I'll believe you, but I can't see the mate myself. Rook f1. Okay, what happens here? I cannot run, right? And you take with the rook. But then there are back rank motives also. Okay, but by process of elimination, if I take, I guess I get mated here, right? Anyone understands this? Okay, we have a comment from Titan Chess. We play like that, and we then just take on and g6, and we mate them. Yeah, you're probably right then. I don't know if that is knight f8 maybe. or yeah, I don't know. You're probably right. Yeah, let's say that. Let's say that black is lost here. So rook d7 might work also, but I would say rook f1, it's requiring less. Oh, sorry. Rook f1 requires less calculation. Now, back to the very beginning. Yeah, we understood this. c5, we sack the pawn, which helps us to bring out the bishop. And after e5, we managed to provoke this move. Now we're very happy to trade off. Please notice, obviously, it would make no sense to play that here, because then black could take perhaps, or I don't know. I could go back also if I like. But if I go back in the game, you can see the point, right? If I go back in the game, what would white play here, of course? Exactly, Titan says we will play bishop c4, and we have now benefited from this, provoking the move e5. They have to play rook f8, and yeah, what would happen after that? Some tactics, I guess, at some point here. I can't really see the tactics myself, but there should be something here, yeah. Mr. Chicky Dude is saying something, or yeah, okay, we will come to that. Yeah, I'm not sure how we would conduct attack here. Maybe push f4, exactly, Khan King Sam. Anyway, that looks like a nice way of opening up more space for our attack. I agree. There might be some smarter way, but this looks fully satisfactory. So what some of you were saying was to move b4. I like this very much. I think you wanted to play bishop b2. I think that was Greg Shahadi's idea, for instance. So if you play like that, yeah, I wonder how I would counter this. Yeah, actually it looks Scary, no. It's a pity I cannot put the bishop there. Could I put the bishop here maybe and try to put it on e5? Or oh, queen e5. Yeah, fancy because it looks very nice to have it like seizing the whole diagonal. That's why I said fancy. Queen e5 was proposed. Queen e5 smells like some kind of exchange sacrifice, but maybe that's too much. Yeah, rook b1 looks good enough, and then play bishop e2. Yeah, that seems, or bishop e4 even. Yeah, queen e5, sorry to say that, but it doesn't look like a very clever move. It looks like we're just losing on the spot. So I was thinking of maybe this move. And if you play bishop e2, I go bishop e5. Might that be better or so? Yeah, hi everyone. Yeah, nice to see you again. Bishop d6, bishop e5. Maybe this is okay for black. Aha. Oh yeah, I see. We saw the game by Eric. No, aha. Yeah, your game. Yeah, I'm sorry you came a little late, but you're now in the history books because we saw your French game against Escalante. Aha. Anyway, so I think we understood this now. C5, very clever move. We are trying to clear some space for a light square. Dark square bishop e4. We want to come to e5 at the right moment. If they go e5, we have bishop e3. Very, very nice move. So that if they take, we can take back and open up the game, and else we can play bishop c4. Safe to say, many merits of this pawn sacrifice. Let's continue. Let's turn the page. And I wanted to bring up something from Reti opening, okay? You'll see something from the Reti, or I don't know how you call this opening. You will see for yourself. I would describe it as a Reti with a bishop like that and this kind of pawn structure, like an advanced Reti with g4. So in this game between Cheparinov and Parligras, you know the topic, of course. Let's see if the Zuckertort opening. Oh, really? That's a Zuckertort. I thought the Zuckertort was with the bishop like that. Yeah, but that's something else then. All right. No problem. So I'll ask you for a long sequence, okay? I'll ask you for a long sequence. I don't demand you to see all the moves, but we'll try to go as far as we can. Okay, I think that's enough. So you get 1 minute 20, okay, to give you a little more time this time. Okay, so you know that the story, of course. White will sacrifice a pawn, but in a clever way, not in some random way, in a clever way. So Razorbill, you're on the right track. If you play like that, I will interpose with bishop d5. The same goes for you, Santos and Aug. I will interpose with bishop d5. Happy pawn, the same goes for you. I will interpose on the d file by means of... Yeah, I can't say this anymore. So everybody understands. If you trade on e4, I will plant the bishop on d5. But okay, we will talk about it. Maybe you wanted to play knight e5 and take the bishop pair. That would also be possible, yeah. Interesting. So Mr. Chicky and Adi and Vish and Sui and Titan, you basically got the whole idea. Yeah, you got the whole idea. He did not play knight b5. I looked at that too. It's interesting. He played more in the style of Kan King Sam. However, Kan King Sam and Brian and Jingxi and Sozin, I'll play knight c5, I think. I think there was a difference with that move, knight c5. You could eliminate that move. That's what Cheparinov did in the game. So nobody has played like Cheparinov, but no blame on you, of course. Tactical Magician and Pika, you're extremely close. He did not trade on c6. Yeah, why didn't he do that? Very good question, yeah. We will talk about it. It's a complex example. Pop Fisher, you were very close. The Grandmaster picked another square for the knight. So, okay, I think we should connect Tactical Magician on this one because Tactical was extremely close to finding the whole variation. Aha. Okay, go for it, Tactical. The first move comes with no surprise, but I should tell you that no one less than Vladimir Kramnik, played knight e5 in a different game. So this is also possible, like that. Bishop here, and you have some plan like even f4, f5. Very beautiful game. Kramnik with white, Bluebaum with the black pieces. You can check that game from the German Dortmund tournament, I think, or something like that. Beautiful game by Kramnik. Yeah, fantastic game. Anyway, we can talk about that some other time because Tactical Magician played e4 here. Very straightforward move. Tactical does not spend the tempo on playing rook e1. In that case, I might consider to go d4. I could consider this move. Please notice the difference here. If you prepare the move e4, and if you put your knight here, I will try to put my knight there. I'm not sure about this position, but anyway, I don't think I would have played it in the real game. Okay, I hope you would, Tactical. Anyway, let's continue. Yeah, I can write that here. Kramnik versus Bluebum. Yeah, depending on your German pronunciation. Yeah, that's the game. So takes, they took here with the knight. And this is like a first moment. We're talking move orders here. So if you play, if you take first, many of you wanted to take first. If your idea was to play this, then I can probably refute you with bishop d5. You probably don't want this. I'm suspecting now that this helps black. Sometimes you can maybe get back the pawn on d5, but then it's basically an equal game, right? 95, yeah, exactly. If you play 95, I understand there is some tactic here. I can't really calculate it right now, but I would just take maybe and wait for you to take, and I think it would be about equal here. I don't know if somebody can find something smarter. Please go ahead. Is there some move like bishop d6? I don't know, but this cannot be enough for an advantage, I think. Yeah, white can't win back the pawn. Oh, I see. So then even worse. So, okay, so we play, you could play 95. If this was your idea, I understand it, because you get the bishop pair, which is meritory, of course. You could play something like that. Who knows? If the Grandmaster didn't play this, I guess he felt it was not enough for him. But at the same time, I'm not sure how Black would react here. Interesting. Yeah. Queen d5. What queen d5? Oh, you mean before. Interesting. Queen d5. That's a very flashy move. Interesting. I hadn't seen that. Something is hanging here also, but that's too much tactics. Maybe, yeah. The nice thing is that this bishop is hanging, right? So if takes, this one is hanging also. Yeah, interesting. Good thinking by Hollow, I think. Good thinking by Hollow. Queen d5. So it's equal, so probably ain't good. Yeah, I don't know if this works tactical, but it's hard to calculate also in the game, right? It's hard to calculate. Maybe I can take and put my queen there. Yeah, we are drifting away now in tactics. Yeah, I would not venture on this. Knight takes e6. Only tactical magician wants to play this with white. Yeah, I guess I put my bishop somewhere on f6. Is that possible? Are you sure you're better here, tactical? It looks a little suspicious now when you give me the whole long diagonal, no? Yeah, rook d1 is much easier. That's the way I would think also, Zachpan. So that's what he played here. He can't calculate every crazy variation, no, when he's sitting down at the board. So, yeah, simple common sense, bring in the pieces. Rook d1 was played in the game, and black, they don't have this resource anymore. He played in the game queen c8 here, Parligras. So here some of you wanted to play knight e5. So if you play that, you give me this extra option of knight c5. And maybe you don't have a very good square for the queen right now, I'm guessing, no? So, yeah, so he took first instead. He took first. By the way, if you played knight b5, it's very interesting also. Yeah, you can maybe play this. Yeah, I'm not sure what I would play here. Wow, tricky position. Can I play like that maybe and put my rook here? Or is that very bad? Maybe that's very bad. Yeah, I don't know. Bishop e3 says Sakpan. I understand. If I take, you're going to take like that. Yeah, do I have any smart tactics like b6? Can I play that or no? Or that's not working? Yeah, sorry guys. I'm losing myself in tactics here. Oh, queen b6 was better? Maybe you're right then. Queen b6 is very powerful. You're about to take on c6 and take my poor rook. Aha. Yeah, I think you're right. I'm convinced. Smart tactics. Yeah, exactly. So I would have to play something else here. Yeah, the Grandmaster did not play like this, but that doesn't mean that it's wrong, of course. We have a lot of compensation. We have a lot of counterplay. Poor black. What's the black play here? Yeah, very tricky. Rook d8 maybe. Bring in another piece to the game or so. Why not knight c5? Yeah, maybe knight c5 then. Maybe there is no good square for the queen. I'm not sure. Lots of lines. That's what I would think also. Many things to calculate here. Queen e3 looks very reasonable, trying to take. But I like the very simple way that he played in the game. So I will ask something here. I will ask everybody something here in the chat. If, let's see here, if you can find, what can I say, a very safe, if you can find a line which leads to a small but enduring advantage with no counterplay for the opponent. Sorry, I'm trying to write here for the opponent. Would you go for it? instead of would you go for it? It's a silly question because you will say, but hey, maybe I have something better. But the answer could be yes, for instance. The answer could be yes. The answer could be no, also, definitely. But maybe the other option might be, you could say, might be a myriad of possibilities, right? Like a labyrinth. No, you have to find a way to navigate and so on. So that's what I'm saying. He found a very simple way of getting an advantage. So we are back with who was talking here, by the way? Who was showing me the line? Tactical, yeah. All right, Tactical. Please come back and show us. So how can you play that like Fort Knox safe continuation with white? We have all our pieces developed. Exactly. We trade off our opponent's active pieces, no? Could we say that? Knight e5, exactly. Bishop takes and king takes. So you would say that, hey, but this is probably just going to end in a draw because you're trading off the pieces and you will get back the pawn, but then it's a draw. But believe me, Chaparinov is a very aggressive player. He's not after a draw here. He knew that his endgame was better for him because once you take back this pawn, you will have 2 pawns versus 1, right? You will have the queenside pawn majority. That's at least how I understand it. Black played rook d8. Yeah, the best move was bishop f6. I guess Parligras was not happy about letting white ruin his pawn structure. You're right. You're right in that, Zakpan. This would be the lesser evil, but I would prefer to go play white here if I can choose. I like white's position here. Rook d6, yeah, interesting move. I think we're about to play something like queen d3 and maybe rook d7 and continue the invasion. I don't like black's position here, but okay, it's a matter of taste. I can perfectly understand why he played like in the game. He played here. Yeah, the rook on a8 is sad, says Hollow Blade. I agree completely. Rook d8 was played in the game. So I think around here, yeah, you took on c6, right? Tactical. But rook takes was the choice in the game. I can't really tell you what would be the difference if you took like that. I would take with the queen, I guess. I need to bring out the pieces. Yeah, what would be the difference here? Very good question. Very good question. If you go for the same line, for instance. Or you could take on b7 also. Yeah, good point. But even this looks nice for white, right? I think. Looks pleasant for white, this endgame. But you could also take on b7, as somebody said here. Queen takes b7. But then, careful, maybe there is a move like that. Queen d5. I don't know what that means. It might mean something, no? That I can take here later and so on. Yeah, maybe not necessary to play like that. So anyway, interesting variation. Yeah, in the game he took instantly bishop takes, and then he played queen f3. And now he was ready to take on c6. Okay, it's a very long example. Sorry about that. But I want you to see the final part here. Knight takes, pawn takes. And if I tell you not to take the pawn, I'm kindly asking you not to take the pawn. What would you play in that case? You get only 15 seconds. Play a move which is not taking the pawn. Okay, little chess player, skilled saber, Zachpan, Chalicia, Touch Grass, Tori, Tiger Sachin, and so on. Yeah, everybody found this. G5, interesting move. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Maybe bishop takes b2. Not sure what the merit is of g5, though. So, okay, Tiger Sachin, yeah, you can tell us. What should white play here? What was your choice in this position? b3, yeah, you could play that also, but more aggressive. After all, we have the queenside pawn majority, so we could simply push that pawn. Exactly, you're right, Tiger Sachin. We can play b4 here. That's a clever move. In this way, we get ready to take this pawn, and ultimately, we have this queenside pawn majority, which can convert itself into passed pawn at some point. You could, of course, take also. It's not a crime to take like that. I try to figure out what might be the difference. One theory is that black can try to do like this and get counterplay. You could, of course, take with the queen also. But in that case, you're hanging the pawn in the very end, right? You're hanging the pawn. And the same goes for the move g5 that some of you wanted to play. Then I would probably take the pawn on b2. So I think that was a clever move. b4, we safeguard the pawn, but also we get ready to push this pawn further. Black played bishop d4 so as to meet b5 with c5. We're still down the pawn, by the way. Yeah, we're still down the pawn. Bishop d4. And now, finally, he played queen takes c6. He took with the queen this time, and later on, he continued to push his pawns. So that's the kind of very safe advantage that we talked about. I was asking you, if you could go for this, would you go for it? Maybe it depends also on who you're playing and so on. But I think it's a nice advantage, and you can even see that these moves are useful. Now we can quickly, we can quickly bring in the king also. So very long example and complex. But I hope this makes sense for everybody. I think we should recap this, okay? So we will do a quick requiz here. I just want to make sure that everybody gets this right. So be a little brave, give up a pawn, don't worry. You can get back that pawn later, right? That's the point here, that we can maybe get it back later, or at least we can get a lot of initiative. Okay, so you will have to find the whole long line here. Your last move will be b4, okay? Last move will be b4. Okay, so it seems that most of you found the right way here. Excellent. Most of you found the right way to go here. Let me see if I can come back to the study. Yeah, here we are. So you can show us Connor. You can show us the whole variation. Yeah, we had Connor, Sozin Queen, L, HDI, and Xalicia. I messed up. Yeah, no problem. We're here to learn simply, Pop Fisher. Yeah, E4, nice move to play. We put pressure on black center. They decided to take. This means that also our bishop becomes a bit more powerful. We play rook d1 first, so we don't give them any chance to put the bishop on d5. They have to put the queen on this uncomfortable square. And later on, we are ready for a little simplification procedure here. Maybe it was not the best choice, but it was enough for the grandmaster to win the game, which is a good sign also. So bishop takes, and we are basically getting ready for this plan of taking and queen f3. Yeah, they played rook d8 in the game. It was important to keep the rook on c1 on the c file. That's why he took first on d8. And now we take, and after pawn takes back, we play this move, queen f3. Yeah, by the way, I forgot to ask Connor, can't I just play c5 here? Isn't that a good move? Oh, it was queen f3 first, I see. Yeah, exactly, rook takes e5. This looks better for white, right? You can see here, for instance, if you trade queens, I think you have to do that, right? You can see that white is benefiting from the king. It's very close. I'm not sure about this endgame, but I would put my money on white. Maybe you can bring in the king, and yeah, they should be careful not to play a move like that, right? This could be very bad for them, because if you trade off the bishops, white ends up with a outside passed pawn, right? So they will have to play something like that instead. So yeah, not sure what happens here. Yeah, congratulations, Waki, to Grandmaster title. Yeah, that's a great effort. So I think white has chances here to win. Good chances to win this game. The king is absent now, so maybe like bring the king in this way and so on, or should we set up the passed pawn? Actually, that's quite tempting also, right? But anyway, we can agree that white has the upper hand here. So, okay, I think we understood this now. White played e4, and eventually they reached a better endgame here after all these moves, and they actually managed to win the game also. So somehow we're using our better placed pieces. Now you could say also we open up the game for the benefit of our active pieces. Somebody said that the rook was very sad on a8, and I think that's true. That's black's key problem in this game, that the rook did never come to c8 on time. So please remember this picture, the final picture here. If we come back to the example after b4, bishop d4, this is what white's dream consisted in, right? To have this risk-free endgame to torture black. So that's what happened here. Okay, let me show you something from the opening, okay? Let me show you something about this kind of thinking in the opening. It's just a pawn, you would say. It's just a pawn. Don't be too dramatic about that. You have whole openings like the Benko Gambit or the Evans Gambit, where you sack a pawn. This game between Kornev and Feoktistov played some years ago. They played the Scandinavian. White played, you could say, a slightly slower system. No, usually people play here knight c3. This is very popular nowadays, right? There are different ways of playing here or there or there. But there is another system where you play knight f3, and ultimately you're trying to play d4 and c4. So that's what happened in this game. I think the most critical choice is to play like this and to put the knight here and castle long. I think this is the best way for black to counter all this. But anyway, that's not what happened in this game because black played in a more solid way. They played knight f6. And here white continues with the plan that we talked about, d4, and we keep this move in the pocket, all right? Knight e7, you can see that it looks a little like the Caro-Kann structure. h3, bishop h5, it's always good to have these moves in the pocket. Who knows if someday we will play g4. It cannot be, excluded, no. Castles, black played c6, setting up some kind of Caro-Kann structure. Anyone, how would you continue here? I can quiz you for the next two moves, just to see if we're on the same page. All right? You get only 15 seconds. Yeah, exactly. Happy Pawn, Skilled Saber, Sosin, Wisely, Pat, Daniel, and so on. Yeah, many people. Oh, I can see Yugoslavian, Alg, and Sheng, you're on the right track. Something like that happened later in the game. Okay, so tell us, heuristic mind, how was your solution here? What did you play? Yeah, extremely simple now. It's just the logical moves. You're right, King Sam. If you play this system with delayed knight c3, it's of course because we wanted to play c4. Exactly. c4, black put the queen on a5, and white played knight c3. Exactly. Like the same kind of system. You could find this setup. You could find it in many different openings, right? All this, in the Alekhine, for instance, if you play the Alekhine with white, you could get exactly the same. If you play, like, let's say e6 and you play bishop e3, for instance, you could get to this exact situation if you play the Alekhine with white. Correct me if I'm wrong. If you play something like this, I know that nowadays c4 and f4 is regarded to be the most critical test, but yeah, back in the good old days, we would play in this way instead, like that. And we will play castles, we would include h3, like in this game. And you can see basically where I'm going, right? We would play c4, knight b6, and we are basically playing all the moves, each and every move. And I think here we don't play this because they can play d5 and knight c4, I think. So I think you start with b3 and they play. Yeah, anyone who plays the Alekhine, you could tell me if I'm doing the right thing or the wrong thing here. But something like this, right? Something like that. So this is more or less the kind of system that we're talking about. Anyway, back to our topic, back to the game. That's how it started. White played in a standard way. Black also played in the standard way. The interesting thing with this game is that, white destroyed black's system. Black was destroyed in this game. And this is where the fun starts. So, okay, everybody get ready, calculate. Let's see if you can find the way in which white continued. If you play the Sicilian Alapin, by the way, if you know how to play the Alapin, you will be greatly helped by that when you find white's approach here. So, okay, 1 minute 15. What's the theme of this class? Yeah, we're talking about a small price, like typically giving up a pawn, right? We're giving up a pawn. That's the smallest price I think there is in chess, no? Or maybe you can find some smaller price, what would it be? Like the exchange, and you get a pawn? Maybe that's smaller? Yeah, never mind. Okay, let's see here. Tiger, Brian, Sui, you're basically on the right track. You get half a point. I'll take with the knight then. Yeah, what do you continue? How do you continue there? Okay, HDI, you're the only winner. You played like the grandmaster in the game. Interesting. Yeah, it's a very unknown game, no? I think you have not seen this game anywhere else. I found it when I was doing some investigation on the Scandinavian. Really funny because if you check your database, you will see that it was never played again, and it was also never played before. The way they played in the game, I mean. Interestingly, it seems it was a one-time occurrence, strangely enough. So, okay, a lot of people wanted to take twice. I can see that you got the right, the right picture here for sure. So let's talk with the winners first. HDI, you were fastest here. Please go ahead, HDI. Yeah, you got it also, Adi. Congratulations. So HDI, tell us, how does this work? D5, if you can make this work, play it, please, especially when the black king is still in the middle. Basically, we are either clearing the E file or we're clearing the A4, E8 diagonal, or we're clearing both in the best scenario. So let's check first if I take like that. How did you continue here, HDI, it says? So this is the very difficult move. And that's why I was saying that if you have knowledge of the Sicilian Alapin, that will be helpful. Because there is a line like that. I think some of you know this line, no? Let's see. The smallest loss would be 1 second in a classical game. Yeah, you're talking time now. No, I was just talking about the pieces, but yeah, never mind. Okay, so this is the line, right? I think some of you might play this also. So if black plays e6, there is always a risk that white will play c4 and they will play d5. So for that reason, very often black takes first, right? They take first on d4. And then they play e6. White usually include these two moves. They play knight c3 and after queen a5. Yeah, anyone knows this line? White's best move here? Kind of, says Tori. No, nobody knows this line. Maybe I'm too old and this line is not played anymore. I remember Italian Grandmaster Godena. He has some nice games in this line. G4. You can play G4, but there is another continuation which... yeah, exactly. Happy pawn. You got it. King Sam, you got it. We play D5, and after E takes D5, we play knight D4. You can check this and you will see that even the computer will tell you that white gets a small advantage here. And a nice initiative, you could say. So basically, when we're doing this, we are trying to open up the E file by all means. If black does not trade, they will run into troubles, maybe something like that. This, I think, is unplayable for black. White's development is really fast here. So in most games, they take and they play bishop E7. Anyone, what do you think is the best move for white here? I played that before, says Happy Pawn. Okay. Knight E5, please don't do that, Razor. I'm putting an evil trap here for you to fall into. That's a losing mistake, as you can see. Zachpan saw D4 exactly. The queen can take in this direction. Aha. So only if you play Bughouse, you could do this maybe. In Bughouse, I think you have good chances here still, but not in real chess. So the best move is the simple move, knight takes C6 simply. Knight takes C6, we castle, and from the two moves, rook E1 and bishop G5, which one would you play? Anyone? Yeah, maybe knight B3, L. Aha, exactly. You're right, Waki. Don't play rook E1 because then black castles, of course, cheap tactics. Whenever you have this kind of situation, you just need to make sure that the queen cannot come back and protect the rook, which is not possible here. So most games, they continue with bishop G5 here, and I think black plays king F8 or something like that. But yeah, I'm happy to play this every day of the week if I can. This kind of position, yeah, rook E1 maybe. I like to be pawn down and having compensation, but okay, it's a matter of style also and matter of preference and so on. But in any case, what I wanted you to see was that sometimes an idea in one opening, you can use it in another opening. So here they played, in this variation, they played D5. Please notice also if black castles, yeah, we don't care about that. You could just castle away and yeah, they can take, but their king will be very weak on the queen side, right? You don't castle long when you have an IQP, if you see what I mean. If you have this position, yeah, what would I play with white? I'm not sure. Maybe something like bishop f4 and rook c1 and knight b5. Yeah, this would be very dangerous for black due to the king on that side. Exactly. I have a lot of compensation. Yeah, a lot of compensation. Also, please notice that we don't take this pawn. This would also be like, what can I say, like a sleeping pill now to play like that. Yeah, black would take and castle and yeah, some kind of drawish scenario. So, of course, knight e4, that's the key move here. We want to clear the e file. Aha. Yeah, they can also take on d4, of course, and then you take on h5. Somebody who was very clever understood that it's better to have h3 and bishop h5 included, because if at some point black plays knight e6, there are some motives with like castles and rook e1 and rook takes and things like that also. Anyway, back to our... I think I'm boring you with this, so we're going back to the game now. d5, that's what somebody said here. It was HDI. All right, HDI. So pawn takes... Now everybody knows, of course. what will follow here. So please go ahead. 94, exactly. We know the topic already. Black is basically forced to take. So look at this, guys. It's interesting now. You check this position in the database, and you will see that most games they play bishop f4, they play a3, maybe bishop e3, and so on. Queen b3, I think, was played also. Only one game where they play d5, and it's this game. That's surprising. No, that's surprising. It was never repeated. Maybe because black, they don't play like this. Yeah, I don't know. 94, and they took in the game. Please continue. Clear and sacrifice, says Titan Chess. Aha. We take, and of course, white's big point here is that they will give check before black is able to castle away. And I cannot play bishop e7, of course, here, right? HDI. I cannot play like that. Exactly. And we win the game. So, yeah, this cannot be played. The pin is decisive. So he had to play king d8, and by now everybody understands that. Yeah, now we have nice compensation. And the rest of the game, actually, it's not that, what can I say, that topical. Yeah, he played queen a4 here. He took the pawn on c4. Black could never really... Black defended heroically in this game also, but it was just too much. It was too much. I have a question here. 95. What would you play with the white pieces here? Anyone is in for a challenge? I can quiz you on this if you like. Yeah, I can quiz you so that you do something like that also. Let's see who is smartest here with the tactic. Let's see who can see the tactical line here. All right. You get only 35 seconds. Yeah, quiz coming up. Wow, you're so fast. You see this tactic instantly. It's some kind of puzzle rush, no? L008, Santos, Racer, Vish, GM, Gordon, Santos, aha, Titan Chess, Brian, Xi Jong, Jing Si. A lot of people got it right. Happy Pawn, Sheng, Wacky Hill, and so on. Yeah, good tactics, good tactics. You know your puzzle rush tactics. Knight f3, can you play that also? I guess you can, right? Knight f3. Yeah, half a point if you said knight f3 or not half a point. Knight f3, queen e7. What happens after that? Yeah, I think the other line is better. Okay, Daniel Best, tell us, please. How would you continue here, Daniel? You get the white pieces here. I mixed my move order, says Sakpan. Rook takes e5, and we have a pretty move coming up here next. It's like a festival of tactical motifs. We are doing a little of this and a little of that. Once you put the bishop here, of course, if queen takes, we have a discovery coming up next turn. Aha, that's right. We can just take on c6 or 96. Yeah, as you wish, as you wish. I thought you would actually grab a pawn while you could, but yeah, it's up to you. But both are fine, of course. And if I take like that, then we have the pin. And I think material-wise, after this, queen takes, knight takes, material-wise, black is okay, but not with the king on the 8, right? So that's not possible. Aha. So as simple as that, as simple as that. So in the game, they played something else. They played in the game. Yeah, what did they play in the game? Yeah, I was going to show you the next example, so maybe we should just stop here. He took on d4. Yeah, black did everything right. The problem was the position here. Queen takes, rook e8, and yeah, classical style, bishop f4. Trade your opponent's active pieces, leave them with their passive pieces. That's what he did here in the game. Yeah, he played in a very nice way. And here, white found a funny move. Anyone? Are you in it for a funny move? Let's see. Let's see if you can find a funny move. Yeah, it's not very difficult. So you get 30 seconds for this little mission. All right, here we go. It's very slow on my side, the interface right now. I don't know why that happens. Okay, most people seem to have found this, so congratulations to all of you. Yeah, great work. Okay, nice. Tiger, Fianchetto, Xalicia, Chessart, Chess Crusher, Skilled Saber, Mr. Cheeky Dude, Zhejiang, and 20 more. Wow, that's a lot of people. All right, Mr. Cheeky, you can tell us, how does this work? How do we continue here? How do we win the battle for the e-file? Exactly, queen d6. If you mix up the move order, you play like that, I guess you give me the additional option of king f7, although this looks nice also, yeah. Yeah, I'm probably wrong, no, I'm probably wrong. But yeah, what would you play then? Anyone understands this? Yeah, I don't. 55 people, really. That's a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know. The master played queen d3. Oh, he did maybe. Yeah. So maybe I'm making this up. He played queen d3, but I'm saying that the best move was queen d6. Let me check my files. So you're following the game, Wrestle. Interesting. Yeah, he played queen d6, and after queen c5, he did not want to go to the endgame. You're right. He played queen d3 here. Interesting. And he gave black the chance to play queen e7, and black had some bigger chances. But we could just have taken, such as Mr. Chiki was saying. We just take and we keep the pressure here, right? Queen e7, and yeah. Next move, Chiki, what would you play here? Yeah, we don't trade queens if the opponent's king is in the middle, right? So what would you play? Yeah, queen c4, or could you maybe create a threat? Is that possible? Retreat the queen with a threat, perhaps? Chess Crusher says queen b3. I'm with you, Chess Crusher. Queen b3 hitting the pawn, and if knight c5, yeah, where would we put that queen? Yeah, not difficult. You can put it on b2 or b4 on c2 maybe, and you have this coming up next. Okay, white is not winning, but black is still in trouble, and in practical terms, it's complex to play this. So, yeah, I thought it was a nice game. So basically, I forgot to show you one thing, by the way. I forgot to show you one thing at the very beginning here. Let's see. We came up to this position, and they played here. Yeah, everybody remembers now what was the key sequence. I'll do this very quickly just to make sure that we are on the same page here. Yeah, be a little patient with me. You get only 20 seconds, okay? Because we saw this already. Yeah, we will come to that now, Holo and Daniel. We will talk about that now. Thanks for bringing that up. If you take again on d5, I'll take with the knight, and I'll try to trade off the queen. Pop Fisher, Sakpan, Happy Pawn, Sheng, Alg, Pika, Ryan, so on. Yeah, you all got it right. Nice. Yeah, you can show us Happy Pawn. Tell us, how would you continue here with white pieces? What was the topic here? We open up the game as soon as we can before black's king is able to reach safety. After pawn takes, we play this trick from borrowed from the Sicilian Lapin. Knight e4, and we are able to clear the e-file for an attack. So strike the center while the king is still in the center. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Exactly. Now, if you wanted to take like that, you'll have to show to me how you actually develop your initiative here. Because if you take, I will of course take with the queen. So is that convincing to play like that? Because many people wanted to play in this way. Okay, complete silence. So I believe more in this move. I believe more in knight e4. But if you can show me a way in which you keep white's initiative going, then great. But I couldn't see it. All right. Last thing about this example. If they take with the other pawn, what would be the difference? Anyone? Now there is a difference. Yeah, now we are not making it to open up the e-file. We can't do it. Knight b5, interesting move, but no real threat, right? In that case. Rook e1, possible, but somebody took the pawn. Happy Pawn took the pawn already. So here comes the interesting situation. Now it's the other pawn. Please notice the difference. I hope everybody understands what I'm saying here. If you don't understand, yeah, no hard feelings. Bishop d2, well, if I could develop here, I would be extremely happy if I could. If you just allow me to develop, that's very kind of you. Bishop e5 looks interesting also. Yeah, I can certainly not take on c3 anymore. I guess around this point, I will have to castle long simply. Not that I wanted to do that, but I don't think I have any other chance here. Yeah, I can't see this 100% clearly. If you can see this clearly, tell me, but I can't really see it clearly. But there is a better way to go, believe me. There is a better way at this point, after knight takes d5. The thing is that I don't want to confuse you. Yeah, okay, knight takes, queen takes. I think Happy Pawn is still moving the pieces. And now comes the key move here. Now comes the key move. So I think that's the whole point of this whole operation, the next move. Exactly, Alg, you're right. You're right, Alg, queen a4. This is the key move. And here, it's almost resignable. Look for yourself. We have rook d1 coming up. We have bishop e5 coming up. As an extra, we have g4, some variations with knight e5. I don't think there is any way that black can save their skin here. I would have to play something like, I think, a6, no? Maybe. Could we play a6? That would be the last chance. But I think it's very tricky to save black in this position. b5. Resign and die a more peaceful death. b5 cannot be played, right, Sui? Or how do you mean? b5. I take... You wanted to take here, Sui. But this is also coming, and that's also coming. I don't care about my double f-pawns. Yeah, I don't have problems now. Exactly, a6 first. a6 first. And I will go rook d1, and you go queen c6. But I don't think you make it, Sui. I don't think you make it here. I'll play something fast here, like queen h4 maybe. Perhaps. Or queen. This is a funny angle also, queen a5, but doesn't seem useful. Yeah, queen h4 looks like a useful move. I would like to bring out the bishop and then bring in the other rook also. Bishop g6 says Sui. Okay. I have this knight move also. Yeah, it's hard now because we have so many moves to choose from. Anyone? Any idea? Most natural is just to move the bishop and get rook c1 going. We're a pawn down, but we have a lot of activity. Knight e4, bishop e7, says Titan. Okay, so you're basically asking me to play bishop g5, I think, in that case. And I'm trying to play rook c1 next turn. Queen e4. Wow, so he finds all the moves here. Interesting. You're trying to trade off my queen. Yeah, I'm starting to feel uncomfortable here now. Queen g3 maybe, Sui. But then you take my bishop on e2, or what? I can't see this clearly, Sui. Can you see it clearly? If I played like... I have a fantasy about the mate here, but I don't know if my fantasy is true. I wanted to play something like queen c7, and this will never work, right? Yeah, wake me up from my dream. It will never work. I had this crazy fantasy of playing queen c8 at the very end, but it will never work. Probably not. Yeah, I agree. Razor says bishop d3, but that looks very committing, no? To put the bishop down. Really? Could play like that? Maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure. Queen b5, knight e5. Oh, I didn't see that move. Queen b5, knight e5. Wow, that's a genius move, Tori. Congratulations. That's really nice. Because if queen takes, there is queen takes mate. And if knight takes, there is rook d8. Only wacky's f6 saves black in that position. In which position would you play f6? Here? No, not here. It must be earlier now, I think. Probably here after bishop d5, right, Wacky? You wanted to play it here. I was seeing this coming, and I was thinking I should just go rook c1. But, okay, guys, I haven't calculated anything here. So if you turn on Stockfish, it will tell you the answer. No, I'm just a poor human trying to get my attack going. But I like what I'm seeing here. If I'm not playing a computer, I think I have good chances of winning this game. But anyway, yeah, I'm happy to hear your opinion about this. Queen takes e2 followed by bishop d3. Oh, we're back in the other variation now. To block the rook. I see. Okay. So basically we're having this position. A6, this was the move from Sui Random. Very interesting. To stop bishop e5. Rook d1, queen c6. Yeah, I guess we don't do like in the first example today, right? I was just thinking a little about that also. Don't reject anything. Do we have like an endgame grind here or no? Like bishop here and rook c1. Actually, this looks very nice. We are like copying the idea from the first game, the second game today, Ceparino's game. Or you don't like this, maybe. You don't believe in this, perhaps. Yeah, maybe it's not working. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they can put the bishop on d5 and block us there, so it won't work. Yeah, that's highly possible. Saucing. Boring, says Sui. All right, boring. You're probably right then. It's probably boring. So let's not play that boring stuff. So what did you say here? Queen h4 and bishop g6. It's a pity we cannot play like that. That would be fantastic, but yeah, it's not working. What a pity. Yeah, like to damage their pawn structure. So Mikhail Tal would play something like that, but yeah, never mind. Bishop g5. So you're telling me that we should play like that? Queen e4, and I don't believe in this for black, honestly. If I take and I go rook c1, what do you play, by the way? Or I play... Yeah, I don't know. If I take and I go rook c1, I'm trying to play like in the other game now. And I'll bring my rook to c7. Or that's not convincing. Or maybe you have bishop d5 here. I see, f6 maybe. Yeah, I was hoping I could go rook c7, but then you have bishop d5. not fully convincing, no? Wow, this was really tough nut to crack, no? So we said queen g3, queen takes here. By the way, that also has to be analyzed, right? We didn't check that move, but I guess it's not working now because the king can just come back, unfortunately. So what did we say here? We said queen c7, and somebody here very clever said bishop d3, claiming that black is much better here, right? Rook d2 says Rocky Hill. So the variation actually continues. I see. And maybe we bring in the other rook also. Or what would you like to do? Rook c1. Yeah, I also think rook d1. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe a computer will say black here, but I don't like this for black. Yeah, everybody here can see that bishop e5 is met by rook takes d7. Knight c5, says Chessart. Knight c5 looks very shaky. Knight e5 is what I would play in a bullet game, but maybe it doesn't work, but looks promising now. I have many threats now. So, yeah, anyway, queen d7 at some point. Yeah, not here probably. All right, guys, I think we should probably find a way to stop this. I remember that the chess engine liked all this with white, so it's probably not that bad. And I thought it was an interesting case of how we can sack a pawn and get a lot of compensation here. d5, completely unexpected move, but it seems to work. But maybe we have to fine-tune the details for next time. If ed, we play knight e4 and we have queen takes e2 coming up next. And if instead, please notice here the difference, right? If we played like that, I can take, and queen a4, of course, it does not have the same venom, no? The same venom as in the other line where we had this position. Let me see if I can find it. Here, right? So that's a different story because now the diagonal is open and white has a lot of compensation there. Okay, I think that's it for today then, guys. Thanks a lot to everybody who joined today. Thanks to Chess Dojo. Thanks to USCS, to Greg Shahadi, and thanks to Chessable. See you next week. We'll do one more session on a small price. So don't forget, in your own games, sometimes you can throw in a move like d5, you open up the game a little and you make your opponent suffer. All right, thanks. Bye-bye.